Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Amy from Neurotic Mom Bakes, and with the holidays coming up, it's the perfect time to make my gingerbread cake. This cake goes really well with my vanilla buttercream, my cream cheese frosting, my cinnamon buttercream, and my spiced buttercream. So lots of options there. So we're going to get started. In here, I have 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, and I'm going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar. Okay, and then to our sugars, we're going to add 12 tablespoons or 3/4 cup of unsalted room temperature butter and 1/2 cup of oil, 4 ounces of oil. Don't forget I put my written recipe in the description box below each video. I'm actually, before I add the oil, I'm gonna cream the butter and the sugars first, otherwise you'll get chunks of butter in there. Okay, I'm going to slowly add my oil. And then while that's mixing, I'm going to crack 5 eggs. It's best if your eggs are room temperature. It will help the cake rise better and not drop in the middle. However, it's not absolutely necessary because I do level them a little bit. But if you can get your eggs to room temperature, that's best. 5 eggs. Okay, add one at a time. All right, we're gonna measure out 1/2 cup of molasses. Doesn't matter if it's dark or light. You'll get a richer flavor with the dark. I'm gonna actually lower this so I can get all of that in there. Get the molasses in there. Don't forget to raise it back up. I've done that, and it's a disaster. All right. Okay. Let's do our dry ingredients. In here, I have already measured out 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I've already measured out 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now I'm going to add the salt, which is 3/4 teaspoon. And now we're going to add our spices, which are 2 teaspoons of ginger, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of cloves. So I'm gonna start with the cinnamon. 1, 2 of cinnamon. Okay, this is gonna look like I'm putting 4 in, but I'm using the 1/2 teaspoon because the full teaspoon won't fit inside the neck of the bottle. 1, that's 1/2, that's 1, that's 1/2. That's 2. Let's do the cloves. Again, I have 1/2, 1, and I have just right about a teaspoon of nutmeg in there, so I'm just gonna tap that in. Okay, set that aside, and then we're going to measure out 2 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, milk will work, or 1/2 and 1/2, but not 1/2 and 1/2 the cream. You can do 1/2 buttermilk, 1/2 milk. And again, room temperature is best. That's not quite 2 cups. So I'm going to add enough milk to make 2 cups. And did you know you can make your own buttermilk by putting about a tablespoon of lemon juice in a container like this and then adding enough milk to make 1 cup and letting it sit for 5 minutes? That makes buttermilk, or that's a good substitution. That's a good substitution for buttermilk. Okay, we're gonna alternate dry ingredients with the buttermilk, going back and forth, starting and ending with dry. On low. I'm going to mix the last little bit by hand because I don't want to overmix this and I want to make sure I get everything off the bottom of the bowl. Not over mixing. I think we've got it. Use your spatula to get around the sides. Okay, now this recipe makes quite a lot of cake layers. I believe it makes 5 6-inch layers or 3 8-inch layers plus a dozen cupcakes. Today I'm going to do some cake layers and some cupcakes. And for the cake pans, I found that cooking spray is enough. They have come out cleanly. But if you feel like you need to oil and flour them or put parchment paper on the bottom, just for extra insurance, that's great too. All right, I'm gonna start with my cupcakes. I like to use an ice cream scoop and half full. These rise quite a bit, no more than half full. Let's see how much we can. 1, 2. I do find that if I use an ice cream scoop for the cake layers, I can get those pretty even without having to weigh them. 4, 5. I fill these about halfway full. Okay, these are going to go in a 325-degree oven. The cake layers take longer, about 35 to 40 minutes. Check them at 30 though. The centers will spring back lightly and a toothpick will come out clean when they're finished. The cupcakes take about half the time, so I would start with 16 minutes up to about 20 minutes. Okay, I've already baked some cake layers ahead of time, and I have some of the gingerbread cupcakes here. They go really well with my vanilla buttercream and also my whipped cream frosting. Now to store these cake layers, because I always make my cake layers ahead of time, I'm just gonna cool them 10 minutes, pull them out, cool them entirely on a cooling rack. Then I'm gonna level the tops if I need to and wrap them nice and tight and put them in the freezer until I'm ready to decorate. So there you go, my gingerbread cake recipe. Give it a try, let me know what you think, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more recipes like this one.